How many, Thomas?
How many what?
People. How many people?
You're asking the wrong question, detective. You should be asking how many I remember. I could tell you it started with the dental appointment when I first noticed her, but that wouldn't be honest. The truth is, I've been thinking about this for a long time. Not her specifically, just the idea, the concept of having someone, keeping someone.
On the evening of November 7th, 2019, Thomas Reed was brought in for questioning regarding the disappearance of 26-year-old Melissa Hargrove, a dental hygienist from Cedar Falls, Iowa. She had been missing for 11 days. What detectives didn't know, what no one knew yet, was that Melissa wasn't alone.
Do you understand why you're here tonight, Thomas?
You told me I could help find Melissa.
That's right.
I want to help. I told Officer Daniels I want to help.
Good. That's good.
She's a nice girl, Melissa. Always remember my name at the office. Most people don't do that, you know. They see you once, twice, and it's like you're invisible. But she always said, "Hi, Thomas," every time.
You noticed that about her.
I notice a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that bad?
Not at all. Tell me about the last time you saw her.
Thomas Reed was 41 years old. He worked as a refrigeration technician for commercial restaurants, the kind of job that gave him access to walk-in freezers, industrial equipment, and irregular hours. He had no prior criminal record, not even a speeding ticket.
The last time, okay. Let me think. It would have been October, early October. I had a cleaning, right? And she was there. She did the cleaning. We talked a little bit about the weather, about how the leaves were changing. She said she liked autumn better than summer because summer felt too bright, too exposed.
Too exposed.
Her words, not mine.
Right.
After that, I don't know. I didn't see her again.
You didn't go back to the dental office?
No.
Any reason?
My teeth are fine.
Thomas, I want to show you something.
Sure.
This is a still from a security camera at the Eastgate Shopping Center, November 3rd. That's Melissa walking to her car after her shift ended at 6:15. You see her there?
Yes.
And this vehicle here, this white service van, that's registered to your employer, Cold Tech Solutions.
Okay.
Is that your van, Thomas?
We have 4 vans. They rotate.
You were at Eastgate on November 3rd?
Probably. We service 3 restaurants in that strip.
At 6:15 in the evening?
Could have been. I don't remember exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Detectives had already checked Thomas Reed's work logs. He had no scheduled service calls at Eastgate that day. His route should have taken him to the north side of town, miles away.
Thomas, I'm going to ask you something directly. Were you following Melissa Hargrove?
Following her? No.
You're sure?
I wasn't following her. I don't follow people.
Then why were you at Eastgate?
I told you, I service restaurants there.
Not that day.
Maybe I took a detour, stopped for coffee. People stop for coffee.
At the same time Melissa was leaving work?
Coincidence.
Right.
Detective, I want to help find Melissa. That's why I came in. If you're going to accuse me of something,
I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm asking questions.
then ask different questions.
For the first hour, Thomas Reed maintained the posture of a cooperative witness, concerned, slightly nervous, eager to assist. But Detective Moreno had noticed something. Every time she mentioned Melissa's name, Thomas got really uncomfortable.
Let's talk about your work schedule in October.
Okay.
You mentioned you had a dental cleaning in early October. The records show that was October 4th. Is that right?
If the records say so.
The records also show you requested a route change on October 7th. You asked to switch from the North Territory to the East Territory.
I don't remember that.
Your supervisor does. He said it was unusual. You'd been on the North route for 2 years.
Maybe I wanted a change of scenery.
The East Territory includes Eastgate Shopping Center.
Does it?
Thomas.
I didn't know where Melissa worked, Detective. I'm a patient. I go to the dental office. I don't track where my hygienist goes shopping after hours.
I didn't say she went shopping.
You said it was a shopping center.
I said she was walking to her car after her shift. The dental office isn't in Eastgate. It's on Miller Street.
This was the first slip. Melissa Hargrove had a second job, a part-time position at a boutique clothing store in the Eastgate shopping center. This information hadn't been released to the public. Thomas Reed should not have known where she worked outside of the dental practice.
I must have heard it somewhere, maybe from the news,
The news hasn't reported her workplace.
then from someone at the dental office. People talk.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't prove anything. I might have known, abstractly, that she worked there, overheard something. It doesn't mean
What, Thomas?
it doesn't mean anything.
Okay. Tell me about your van.
What about it?
The back of it. What do you keep back there?
Tools, equipment, replacement parts for refrigeration units,
Anything else?
coolant, insulation materials, the usual.
Any personal items?
Like what? No, nothing personal. It's a work van.
We're going to need to examine that van, Thomas.
Fine.
You don't have any objection?
Should I?
Investigators had already obtained a warrant for the vehicle. What they found would change the trajectory of this case entirely, but those results wouldn't arrive for another 48 hours. For now, Detective Moreno was working with only suspicion and Thomas Reed's increasingly careful answers.
Let's go back to November 3rd.
Again?
You said you might have stopped for coffee.
I said maybe. I don't remember.
Thomas, I want to tell you something, and I want you to listen carefully.
I'm listening.
Melissa Hargrove has been missing for 11 days. Her family is terrified. Her mother calls our department every morning at 7 o'clock, asking if we found anything. Every single morning. She hasn't slept. She barely eats. She just sits by the phone and waits.
That's sad.
It is.
I hope you find her.
I think you can help with that.
I've told you everything I know.
Where is Melissa, Thomas?
Detective, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
What happens if someone did something bad? Something really bad, but they didn't mean for it to happen the way it did?
What do you mean?
Like, if things got out of control, if there was an accident,
An accident?
hypothetically.
I can't speak to hypotheticals, Thomas. I need you to tell me what happened.
I didn't say anything happened.
You asked about accidents.
Hypothetically.
This is a common pattern in interrogations. Suspects who want to confess but fear the consequences will often test the waters with hypothetical scenarios, gauging how the detective might respond before committing to an admission.
Right. Thomas, if something happened to Melissa, something you didn't intend, I need to know. The truth matters here. How things happened matters. Why they happened matters.
Does it though? At the end?
Yes.
I don't think it does. I think when something's done, it's done. The reasons don't change what's left behind.
What's left behind?
Nothing. Forget it.
Thomas,
I said forget it.
what are you thinking about?
Nothing. I was thinking about work. Jobs I need to finish.
What jobs?
A freezer unit at DeMarco's. The compressor's been giving them problems.
You're thinking about compressors right now?
My mind wanders.
How cold does a commercial freezer get, Thomas?
Depends on the unit. Standard walk-ins are usually 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Some go lower.
How much lower?
Industrial flash freeze units can hit -40. Lower sometimes.
That's very cold.
That's the point.
What happens to things at -40 degrees?
They freeze.
How fast?
Depends on the mass, the water content. A fish fillet may be a few hours. A side of beef, longer.
What about a person?
I wouldn't know.
You've never thought about it?
Why would I think about that?
You work with freezers every day.
I work with equipment, not people.
Right.
Forensic pathologists would later confirm that exposure to extreme cold, particularly flash freeze temperatures, significantly complicates time of death calculations. Tissue damage patterns become unreliable. Decomposition stops entirely. It's one of the most effective ways to obscure when a death actually occurred.
Am I under arrest?
Not at this time.
Then I can leave?
You can, but I'd prefer if you stayed. If you really want to help find Melissa,
I do want to help.
then help me understand something.
What?
The route change, the coffee detours, the van at Eastgate, the fact that you knew where she worked outside the dental office. All of these things individually could be coincidences, but together,
Together what?
they paint a picture, Thomas, and I don't think you're going to like how that picture looks when I present it to a jury.
You're bluffing. You have nothing. Circumstantial speculation.
We have your van, and in 48 hours we'll have whatever's inside it.
Thomas Reed's demeanor shifted after this. The cooperative witness facade cracked. What emerged was someone colder, more calculated, as if a different person had been waiting beneath the surface.
You're not going to find what you're looking for in that van.
No?
It's clean. I'm very thorough.
Thorough.
In my work, you have to be thorough with refrigeration systems. One small leak, one overlooked seal, and the whole unit fails. Thousands of dollars in spoiled inventory. I don't make mistakes like that.
What kind of mistakes do you make?
I don't. Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Everyone makes mistakes when they're learning, detective. That's how you get better. You learn from what went wrong and you don't repeat it.
What went wrong, Thomas?
Nothing went wrong with Melissa.
I didn't ask about Melissa. Thomas?
What?
I didn't ask about Melissa. I asked what went wrong. You said nothing went wrong with Melissa, but I wasn't talking about her.
You've been talking about her this whole time.
Not in that question. You brought her up.
You're twisting my words.
I'm listening to them.
This was the second slip, and it was significant. Thomas Reed had inadvertently implied there were other situations where something did go wrong, situations that weren't Melissa.
Who were you talking about, Thomas? When you said nothing went wrong with Melissa, who were you comparing her to?
No one.
You said, not anymore. You said you learned from what went wrong. Those are your words.
General statements. Philosophy.
About what?
About life. About work. Not about...
Not about what?
This conversation is over.
Thomas.
I want a lawyer. I'm done talking.
Once a suspect invokes their right to an attorney, all questioning must stop. Detective Moreno knew she was close to something, perhaps closer than she realized. But legally her hands were tied. For the next several hours, Thomas Reed sat alone in that room, waiting. At 11:47 p.m., after consulting with his public defender, Thomas Reed made an unexpected decision. He waived his right to remain silent and asked to continue speaking with Detective Morneau. What happened next would become one of the most disturbing confessions in Iowa's criminal history.
Thomas, before we continue, I need to confirm on the record that you've waived your right to an attorney being present during this conversation.
I have. My lawyer advised against it.
Why did you choose to continue?
Because I've been thinking about what you said earlier, about Melissa's mother, how she calls every morning, how she can't sleep.
Okay.
I think some things need to be said, for her sake, so she knows.
What does she need to know?
Where her daughter is.
Where is she, Thomas?
Do you have a map?
Thomas Reed directed detectives to an abandoned meat processing plant, approximately 40 miles outside of Cedar Falls. The facility had been shuttered since 2015 after a health code violation, but Thomas's company had been contracted to maintain the refrigeration system during the bankruptcy proceedings. He had unsupervised access to the building, including its industrial freezer units.
The Harmon plant.
Yes,
You're telling me Melissa is there?
she is.
In what condition?
Preserved. She's been preserved.
In a freezer.
In the main walk-in, Unit 7. The temperature's been maintained at negative 20 degrees for 11 days.
You've been maintaining the temperature.
I check the gauges daily. It's part of my routine now. Like watering a plant. You have to be consistent or things deteriorate.
Jesus.
She looks peaceful, Detective. I want you to know that. I want her mother to know that. She's not damaged. She's not rotting in some ditch somewhere. She's preserved, protected. That has to count for something.
Thomas, I need you to walk me through what happened. From the beginning.
The beginning is hard to pinpoint. When does anything really begin? I could tell you it started with the dental appointment when I first noticed her, but that wouldn't be honest. The truth is, I've been thinking about this for a long time. Not her specifically, just the idea, the concept of having someone, keeping someone. I wanted to keep something beautiful before it could become something ugly, before time and entropy and all the things that ruin everything could take her away. So yes, after the dental appointment, I started watching her, learning her schedule, understanding her patterns. I switched routes so I could be near Eastgate when she finished her shift at the boutique. I'd park across the lot and just observe the way she walked, the way she said goodbye to her coworkers, the way she checked her phone before getting in her car, always with this little smile, like someone had texted her something nice. I wanted to be the person who made her smile like that, but I knew I couldn't be, not in the normal way. I'm not good at the normal way. I never have been. So I started thinking about alternatives. November 3rd was supposed to be reconnaissance. I wasn't planning to do anything that night. I just wanted to time how long it took her to reach her car from the store entrance. Check if there were cameras I needed to avoid. Basic preparation. But when she came out, she was crying. Something had happened. I don't know what. Maybe a bad phone call or trouble at work. But she was standing there by her car with tears running down her face. And she looked so broken, detective. So fragile. And I thought, she shouldn't be alone right now. No one should be alone when they're that sad. So I got out of the van and I walked over and I asked if she was okay. And she looked at me and she said, "You're Thomas from the dental office." And she remembered me. She remembered my name. Even when she was crying, that meant something. That meant everything.
What happened next?
I offered to buy her coffee. There was a place right there, Brewed Awakening, and she said yes. She actually said yes. We sat in a booth and she told me about her problems, about how her ex-boyfriend was harassing her, sending her messages all day, and how she felt trapped. I listened. I'm a good listener. And then when we were done, I walked her back to her car and she hugged me. Just a quick hug, nothing romantic, but a hug. Real physical contact. And I knew in that moment that I couldn't let her go. Not back to her apartment where she'd be sad and scared and alone. Not back to a world that was hurting her. So when she turned to unlock her car, I put my hand over her mouth and I pulled her into the van.
Right.
She fought. They always fight at first because they don't understand yet. I had to restrain her. Zip ties on the wrist and ankles, tape over the mouth. Standard stuff, nothing elaborate. I drove to the Harmon plant because I knew no one would be there. And I took her inside. And I tried to explain. I tried to make her see that I wasn't going to hurt her, that I just wanted to keep her safe. But she kept crying and screaming through the tape, and she looked at me like I was a monster. And that made me angry, because I wasn't trying to be a monster. I was trying to help. So I hit her, once, to make her quiet. And then she was quiet.
Go on.
I thought she passed out. That's what I thought. I carried her to Unit 7, the main freezer, and I laid her down on the floor because I didn't know what else to do. I needed time to think. And I turned the temperature down so she'd be comfortable, so she'd stay still while I figured out the next step. But when I came back the next morning, she hadn't moved. And when I touched her, she wasn't breathing. She wasn't anything. The cold had done something to her, something I didn't expect. And she was just gone. And I thought, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't how it was supposed to happen. But then I looked at her, really looked at her, lying there so still and perfect. And I realized it was exactly how it was supposed to happen. She couldn't leave. She couldn't change her mind. She couldn't decide I wasn't good enough. She was mine now, forever. So I kept her. I kept the freezer running. I visit her when I can. I talk to her sometimes. She's a good listener.
Thomas, I need to ask you something.
Okay?
Earlier tonight, you said you learned from what went wrong. You said everyone makes mistakes when they're learning. Were you talking about Melissa?
No.
Then who?
This was the moment Detective Moreno had been preparing for. The pivot point where a single murder case became something far larger, far darker.
The first one didn't work out the way I planned. It was sloppy, impulsive. I didn't have the infrastructure yet, didn't understand the importance of temperature control.
The first one.
Her name was Dana, Dana Whitfield. But you wouldn't know that name. She wasn't reported missing. Some people aren't.
Tell me about Dana.
She was a waitress at a truck stop off Highway 20. Single mother, estranged from her family. Worked double shifts to pay for a studio apartment where the heat barely worked. No one was looking out for her. No one was protecting her. So I did.
When was this?
2016, March.
What happened?
Similar to Melissa, except I didn't have access to the Harmon plant yet. I was doing residential HVAC back then, not commercial. So I took her to my house, to the chest freezer in my basement. But it wasn't big enough, and the temperature wasn't stable, and things deteriorated. I had to dispose of her eventually. I won't tell you where, because there's nothing left to find. But I learned from it. I learned that you need proper equipment, proper facilities, proper planning. Amateur hour doesn't work.
And after Dana?
After Dana, I got the job at Cold Tech. Started doing commercial refrigeration. Got access to real freezers. Industrial grade preservation.
How many, Thomas?
How many what?
People. How many people?
You're asking the wrong question, detective. You should be asking how many I remember.
Okay. How many do you remember?
What followed was a detailed accounting that stretched across 4 years and multiple states. Thomas Reed didn't keep trophies. He kept bodies. 6 of them, preserved at various locations he had access to through his work. A restaurant in Waterloo, a distribution center in Des Moines, a butcher shop in Omaha that closed 2 years ago but still had working freezer units because Thomas maintained them, off the books, for free.
You have to understand, detective, I'm not a monster. I know that's what you're thinking, but I'm not. A monster hurts people for pleasure. A monster enjoys the suffering. I never enjoyed the suffering. The suffering was always the worst part, the part I tried to minimize. What I enjoyed was the stillness, the permanence, the knowledge that something beautiful couldn't be ruined anymore.
The women you killed.
Preserved.
The women you killed were all beautiful to you?
In different ways. Dana had these sad eyes, like she'd seen too much too young. There was a woman in Omaha, Sarah, who laughed at everything, even when nothing was funny. Nervous laughter, you know, but real, unguarded. I wanted to keep that sound. I wanted to freeze it in place before life beat it out of her. And Melissa remembered my name every time.
6 women.
6 that I kept. There were others I thought about, others I followed, but something always stopped me. Timing wasn't right. Conditions weren't ideal. I've learned to be patient.
Jesus Christ.
Does it help?
What?
Knowing. Does it help Melissa's mother? Does it give her closure?
She wasn't scared of you, you said, Melissa, at the end. You said she looked at you like she finally understood something. What did you mean by that?
She stopped fighting. Right before the cold took her, she stopped fighting, and she looked at me. And I think she understood that I wasn't trying to hurt her, that I was trying to save her from her ex-boyfriend, from her sad life, from getting old and bitter and forgotten. I was giving her a gift, eternal preservation. And in that last moment, I think she saw it. I think she was grateful.
Grateful.
She looked at me like she finally understood something. Does that make sense to you?
No, Thomas, it doesn't.
That's because you don't know what it's like to watch something beautiful decay, to see time destroy everything good. I do. I've watched it my whole life. My mother, my father, everyone I ever cared about. Time took them apart piece by piece until there was nothing left worth saving. But these women, detective, these women are perfect. They're frozen in their best moments. They'll never get sick. They'll never get old. They'll never stop being exactly what they were when I found them.
The dates don't match, Thomas.
What?
You said Dana Whitfield was 2016, the first one. But you also said you learned from what went wrong. That implies earlier attempts, earlier mistakes.
No, they wouldn't.
Why not?
Because Melissa wasn't the first.
That's not what I asked. I asked about Dana. Was Dana really the first?
There was a girl in high school, 1997.
1997.
She sat next to me in chemistry. Her name was Amy Garrett. She was kind to me when no one else was. And one day, she wasn't at school anymore. Her family moved away. No goodbye, no warning, just gone. And I thought, this isn't fair. This isn't how it should be. Someone that kind shouldn't be able to just disappear like that. So I followed her, drove to her new town, Jefferson City, 4 hours away. Watched her for weeks, planning.
What happened?
I couldn't do it. I was 17, scared, weak. I drove home and I never tried again. Not until Dana.
But you thought about it.
Every day, for 20 years, every single day.
Thomas Reed's confession resulted in the recovery of 6 bodies across 3 states. He pleaded guilty to 6 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. The body of Dana Whitfield was never found. Amy Garrett, the girl from high school who unknowingly inspired 2 decades of obsessive fantasy, was contacted by investigators but was not made aware of her role in Thomas Reed's psychological development. She declined to comment on the case.
Is there anything else, Thomas? Anyone else?
No, that's all of them. The ones I kept.
The ones you kept.
The others weren't worth keeping. The ones I thought about and decided against. They weren't special enough. You can't preserve something that isn't special.
And you got to decide who was special.
Someone has to.
I've been doing this for 12 years, Thomas. I've interviewed a lot of people in this room. Killers mostly. People who've done terrible things for terrible reasons. Some of them were angry. Some of them were scared. Some of them were so broken they couldn't tell right from wrong anymore. But you're different.
How?
You know exactly what you did. You know it was wrong. And you did it anyway because you decided your feelings mattered more than their lives.
Their lives would have ended anyway. Everyone's does. I just controlled the timing, controlled the conditions.
You didn't control anything, Thomas. You murdered 6 women because you couldn't handle the fact that people leave. That's not control. That's weakness.
Maybe.
Not maybe. Definitely.
Are we done here?
We're done.
Thomas Reed was transferred to county lockup that night. In his final statement to investigators, he expressed only one regret: that the freezer at the Harmon plant would need to be shut down, and Melissa Hargrove's body would finally begin to deteriorate. 26 years old forever, he said. That's what I gave her. And now, you're going to take it away. The 6 victims were Dana Whitfield, age 32, Sarah Hendricks, age 28, Kimberly Tran, age 24, Michelle Okonkwo, age 35, Reina Castillo, age 27, and Melissa Hargrove, age 26. Their families have requested privacy during this difficult time.